Every object you create hides a timing decision right now or later. Eager initialization answers that question before you even ask. Build it immediately, unconditionally, no matter what. Picture a class with an expensive field, a database connection, a configuration loader, a giant lookup table. There's a question hiding inside every one of those fields. When does it actually get built? Does it get built the instant the class loads before anyone's asked for it? Or does it wait quietly until the very first line of code that actually needs it? That timing decision has a name on each side. Build it immediately, no matter what. That's eager initialization. Build it only when it's first requested. That's lazy initialization. Today we're focused on the eager side, what it looks like under the hood, why some of the most reliable systems in the world default to it, and where it quietly costs you more than it should. By the end, you'll be able to spot which one you're looking at in real code and, more importantly, decide which one you actually want. Eager initialization means an object is created as soon as its containing class or module is loaded, not when you first call it, not when some condition is met, but immediately, unconditionally, as part of startup. In practice, that usually means assigning the object directly to a field, right where it's declared. Static pool equals new pool, no factory method, no null check, no first call trigger. The moment that class enters memory, the constructor runs. JVM, the Python interpreter, the .NET runtime, whichever platform you're on, the mechanism is the same idea. Initialization work gets pulled forward to load time instead of deferred to use time. The upside is obvious the instant you say it out loud. By the time any caller reaches for that object, it's already sitting there, fully built, ready to answer. Here's what actually happens under the hood. When the class loader or module system, depending on your language, first touches that class, it runs the static initializer top to bottom before a single instance method can be called. That constructor call isn't scheduled, isn't wrapped in a check, isn't deferred to a background thread. It executes synchronously right there in the load path. If construction is slow, parsing a large config file, opening a socket, warming a cache, that slowness becomes part of your application's startup time, not part of some later request. This is the core mechanical trade eager initialization makes. It moves cost from the first time you use it to the moment the program begins, swapping unpredictable latency later for a predictable upfront tax now. It's not magic and it's not free, it's a scheduling decision made once at the language level. Lay eager and lazy side by side, and the trade-off becomes obvious. Eager initialization builds every instance at startup, whether or not it's ever used, so your program takes slightly longer to boot, but every subsequent call is instantly fast, and configuration errors surface immediately instead of 3 hours into production. Lazy initialization waits, building the object only on first access. Startup stays fast and you never pay for objects nobody touches, but that first real call now carries the construction cost, and if 2 threads reach for it at the same moment without proper locking, you can end up building it twice. Neither approach is universally better, they're optimizing for different moments. One protects your startup time, the other protects your first request latency. Most real systems end up using both deliberately, object by object, rather than picking one strategy for everything. So when does eager initialization actually pay off? 3 signals to look for. First, the object is cheap or moderately expensive to build and you're going to use it anyway almost every time. There's no real chance it sits idle. Second, you want failures to surface at startup, not mid-request. A bad database URL should crash your app on boot, not 3 hours into a shift when the first customer hits that code path. Third, you're in a simple, single-threaded initialization context, so you don't need to reason about lock contention on first access. The trade-off it demands in return is real, though. Every eagerly built object adds to boot time and memory footprint, even the ones a given run never actually needs, and that adds up fast in large systems with hundreds of singletons. Eager initialization goes wrong in a few very specific ways. The classic one is static initialization order, 2 eager fields in different classes that quietly depend on each other, and whichever one happens to load first sees the other as null or half-built. Another is sheer waste, hundreds of eager singletons at boot, most of which a given run never actually touches, all still paying their construction cost anyway. And the subtlest one is death by 1,000 cuts. One eager field costs nothing noticeable, but when every class in a large codebase defaults to eager, those individually harmless costs stack into a genuinely slow, hard-to-diagnose startup. None of these are arguments against eager initialization itself, they're arguments against reaching for it automatically, without ever asking whether the object in question is actually needed every time. You'll find eager initialization all over production systems that value predictability over conservation. Java's enum-based singletons are eager by design. The JVM constructs them at class load time, and that's exactly why they're thread-safe with 0 extra code. Dependency injection frameworks like Spring default many beans to eager creation specifically so a broken configuration fails the deployment, not a live user request. Connection pools, logging subsystems, and security context loaders are eager almost everywhere because a slow boot is a minor annoyance and a stalled first request is an incident. The pattern is simple to state and easy to misuse. Default to eager when correctness and predictability matter more than startup speed, and reach for lazy only when you can prove the object might genuinely go unused. Thanks for watching.